This is my pizza machine, designed to give you a delicious meal and complete peace of mind. So it starts with these wheels here. As you can see, it can move. And the tray is placed precisely on here in such a way that when the pizza crust gets added, it tips like this. And you can see there's this block here, which normally would fall off when that goes on, which will release this hook from here, which then allows these hanging block weights on this pulley system here to pull the cart along. And it does that until these tracks right here, which you can see are elevated slightly to stop it. And when it reaches this point, two things happen. The first is this block here with another piece sticking off of it will fall, moving this yardstick, allowing these weights to fall like such. This is going to be loaded with sauce, splatter all over the pizza, and perfectly spread it all around on the pizza as if you had done it yourself with love and care. The other thing that's going to happen, you can see right here, this connects rod will get pushed forward, and at the bottom here, this hammer would normally be standing up. This would hit the hammer into these block dominoes. And over here, this block's gonna get knocked out of the way, which will send this yardstick falling down. Attached to it, two little connects pieces, as you saw right there, and the other one, which is hard to see, that allows the cart to keep moving along. And the other thing that'll happen over here is this block here will hit my patent pending connects clutch, which you can see it'll get pushed forward and engage right here. So when this gets knocked down, it'll engage that. And when the motor's spinning, you can see it'll allow this pusher here to make its way up. And great. The pusher will push its way up and move the cart along. So, cart gets moved along until cheese activator 5000. You can see that block right there with another thing sticking off is gonna get knocked over. We're just gonna pull that down. Obviously that's gonna be loaded with cheese. Perfectly, symmetrically layer cheese on the top. And then it'll continue to move along until it reaches the end here, where it'll hit this rod right here, and a bunch of things will happen right then. The first thing that's gonna happen is this is gonna pull that block off, which will swing down, knock that piece out of the way. Axe slams into the tray, rolls over these right into the toaster oven. The other thing that'll happen is this string is tied to this little connects piece here under this block. When this gets pulled, piece will pull this block out, which will send this Thomas train on its way. And as you just saw, the corners of this table are made so that he can make it around the turns and just go all the way around. So the train gets activated over here, makes its way around the table until it reaches this point here. You can see we have these spokes here, and on the top is a longer piece. So the first time this train makes its way around, it's going to knock that one down. And if this were set up, it would knock down these books. The last book has a string on it, which over here is going to pull the watering can down. Water's going to pour into this bucket, which with enough weight is going to pull the door closed. While the door is being closed, the train's going to make its way around the table, and once it gets here again, it's going to hit the next spoke. This is going to knock down the next domino, which will send this ball on its way. It's going to fall down there, and then send off a fun little marble track. At the end, they're gonna fall down this tube, which is gonna knock down that domino. Tied to this one. And when the ball rolls through, a lot just happened there. As you can see, that orange ball just got sent off. And if it were set up, these blocks would fall behind the table and pull down these pieces of paper, revealing the beautiful letters here on the wall. And the ball would also roll down this track, knock down that little piece right there, which you can see it's tied to this string. String gets pulled, kicks this duct tape out, which would hit this, and this whole rod here would get knocked and push the shovel down. You can see the weight of the shovel. The weight of the shovel pulls the chair around into the correct position. And you can see there's also this roll of duct tape hanging here, which is now aligned with this pull cue. We'll get back to that later. While this has happened, the train has made its way all the way around the table again. It's going to come to this junction a third time, and it's going to knock into this domino, which, if you can see from here, it'll send off via this little thing, this roll of duct tape, which is going to, if set up properly, the duct tape will roll into this piece right here, which is free to rotate, and it's connected to the top, which will push this ball along. So the ball is going to make its way down the track, and it's going to hit into the 8-ball, which will roll down here, fall into the pocket, and hit this, which will pull this block down, which will pull this string, and the string is going to send ball number 2 on its way. When it reaches here, ball number 2 is going to hit ball number 1, send them both down, and because those balls are smaller, they're going to fall out sooner and land here. These dominoes are going to be set up, and they're going to get knocked down over here. This piece is going to fall, and when it does, it's going to pull on this, which is going to flip this light switch on. And I have it rigged to this Connects motor with a bunch of gears, and it down gears a lot to make this thing spin very slowly. And it's designed that way to take up time to allow the pizza to fully cook in the meantime. So you can see we have these 2 pieces of a pizza here, and when it spins around and they line up, you can see this spoke here is a little longer. It's going to hit this block and knock this ball down the ramp. It's going to roll over here, hit these dominoes, CD blocks. It's going to hit this book, which is precisely placed to knock on this, send the hammer into this book, which is holding down the Cobra Weave stick bomb. When the book falls over, it's going to release the stick bomb, which is going to come over here. And at the end, you can see when it goes off, it's going to lift this up and knock down these dominoes. Dominoes are going to hit this, which is attached to the top. It's going to hit more dominoes, and then it's going to set all of these off, show the beautiful domino art. And then at the end, it's going to knock this, send this ball over here, and as you just saw, it's going to knock over the axe, which is holding down the beginning of stick bomb number 2, which is going to come over here. And then right here we have the same mechanism we just had over there. It's going to lift up, knock over the dominoes, CD into our VHS tape train Congo line. Come over here. The last one has a string tied to it. When it falls, it's going to pull that little piece out of the way, which is going to be holding the soccer ball in place. Once that gets pulled out, the ball is going to roll down, and it's going to destroy Pizza Tower here. As you can see, there's a red block on the top tied to a string. When that falls, it's going to pull this stick out of the way, release the ball. The ball is going to roll down here, hit the book, hit the Coaster Pusher 4000, which will push this here Connects roller coaster down and up the chain. The coaster is going to go up the chain and then around here. The coaster has a built-in camera on it, and it has beautiful quality footage. Maybe I'll show some of that in the final video. So it's going to roll around here, hit this here ruler into these VHS tapes, Gonna knock this ruler, free the basketball. Basketball is gonna roll down, bounce off of here, and knock into these ones. And then the first thing that's gonna get set off from here is this stick is gonna get hit and pushed forward, and now the stick is going through the roll of duct tape, which connected to this wire is attached to the tray inside, and when pulled it is going to open the door and pull the tray out. And the other thing that's going to happen along here is this thing's going to get knocked over and it's going to hit the cube, pull the duct tape down, open the door, and everything else. The other thing that's going to happen is this is going to get into this book and ring the bell to indicate that our beautiful pizza is ready. This is going to be the best pizza I've ever tasted.